In a turn of events that has shocked even the most jaded royal watchers, Prince Harry has once again cast a public shadow over his brother, Prince William, this time following an incident during a U.S. event that saw William subjected to outright humiliation, including being jeered at and having trash thrown in his direction. While the future king attempted to maintain composure, insiders report that Harry, along with Meghan Markle, was anything but sympathetic, with Harry privately mocking the ordeal and Meghan allegedly fueling anti-William sentiment among select American circles. The event in question took place during a stateside visit meant to promote a charitable initiative under the Prince of Wales's Earthshot Prize. According to attendees and media reports, William faced a lukewarm reception, a stark contrast to royal visits of the past. A small crowd gathered, but pockets of protesters appeared, some hurling garbage and shouting accusations about the monarchy's colonial past and its alleged mishandling of Meghan Markle during her time as a senior royal. What makes the situation particularly controversial is that several of these protesters were seen holding placards using the same language and hashtags frequently promoted by Markle supporters online. Behind closed doors, Harry is said to have remarked on William's embarrassment with what sources describe as cold amusement. But the more incendiary role, observers note, belongs to Meghan Markle. Multiple reports suggest that Markle has been instrumental in reshaping the American narrative around the royal family, positioning herself and Harry as modern, progressive victims of an outdated institution, while portraying William and Catherine as stoic enforcers of an unwelcoming monarchy. Royal analysts point to Markle's ongoing involvement in U.S. media and advocacy circuits where she subtly, yet consistently, inserts references to surviving institutional silencing, a line many have interpreted as a direct swipe at the royal household. Further validating these claims is the unusual timing of a U.S. trademark dispute launched by a nonprofit closely linked to Meghan. Just days before William's trip, the organization filed objections to branding that overlapped with Earthshot's promotional material. Though no formal connection was made public, the coincidence was not lost on royal commentators, who have accused Meghan of attempting to sabotage her brother-in-law's efforts under the guise of intellectual property protection. This isn't the first time Meghan has been accused of strategically undercutting royal engagements. In 2022, she released a high-profile podcast episode featuring racially charged commentary during the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The episode dominated headlines and arguably eclipsed the coverage of the royal celebrations. Taken together, these developments paint a disturbing portrait of a fractured royal relationship where personal grievances are increasingly being played. Royal insiders now warn that the latest episode marks a dangerous escalation in the already tense rift between the two royal brothers, a feud that once seemed rooted in personal disagreements but now borders on a calculated public relations war. There was always rivalry, one palace aide reportedly said, but this is something else. This is warfare by media, by message, and by moment. What's especially troubling to royal watchers is the apparent shift in Prince Harry's demeanor. Once the affable younger prince known for his humor and charity work, Harry is increasingly described as distant, calculating, and, at times, vindictive. Sources suggest that his transformation is heavily influenced by Meghan, whose strategic acumen and media savvy have turned their California base into a formidable soft power hub. From well-timed social media campaigns to orchestrated media appearances, the Sussexes appear to be rewriting the royal narrative from across the Atlantic, and with growing effectiveness. Meanwhile, Prince William is said to be grappling with the optics of vulnerability. Though determined to uphold his public duties, aides say the Prince of Wales is deeply shaken by the U.S. incident, not so much by the protesters but by the lack of familial solidarity in the face of public adversity. It's one thing to disagree privately, said a former royal correspondent, but to stand by silently, or worse, mock, when your own brother is being attacked. That strikes at the heart of what the monarchy is supposed to represent. In the absence of meaningful reconciliation, the palace now faces a bitter truth. The royal rift is no longer a private family matter, it is a global spectacle. As the fallout from the incident continues to ripple through both sides of the Atlantic, Buckingham Palace has maintained a strained silence, an approach some insiders fear is becoming increasingly untenable. The palace is hoping the storm will pass, as others have, a senior royal aide confided, but there's a growing sense that silence is now being read as weakness. With public confidence in the monarchy fluctuating and generational divides widening, the institution faces mounting pressure to modernize, all while under siege from within. public opinion remains starkly divided. In the UK, loyalty to Prince William and the Crown remains largely intact, bolstered by his steady demeanor and commitment to traditional royal duties. However, across the Atlantic, especially among younger demographics and progressive circles, Harry and Meghan's narrative of emancipation from royal oppression continues to resonate. Social media platforms, in particular, have become battlegrounds where coordinated messaging and digital activism amplify the couple's grievances, often to the detriment of William's image. Perhaps most alarming to royal loyalists is the suggestion that this feud has crossed into the realm of deliberate sabotage. Reports of leaked schedules, coordinated media distractions, and thinly veiled criticisms in public speeches hint at a long-game strategy driven not by reconciliation but by redefinition. Meghan and Harry are no longer simply stepping back from royal life, they appear determined to redefine what royalty means in the 21st century on their own terms. If these dynamics continue unchecked, the House of Windsor may find itself reckoning with an existential crisis it never anticipated.